The headlines: new survey highlights unsatisfactory state of the nation's health. Policeman's murder trial is put back. And Rivaldo Leacock makes the Commonwealth Youth Games final. Welcome to Nation News for Tuesday, September the 8th, 2015. Thanks for joining us. First up, the results of the latest Health of the Nation survey, and it doesn't make good reading. It shows that 2 out of every 5 Barbadians have hypertension, that's high blood pressure. 1 in 5 has diabetes. 30% of the population are inactive, no exercise, and a quarter indulge in binge drinking. That's described as having 5 drinks in one sitting. On a positive note, just 9% of Barbadians smoke. The generally unsatisfactory state of the nation's health. Get the full story in the Midweek Nation on Wednesday. Policeman Everton Gittins won't be facing a jury anytime soon on his murder charge. The preliminary inquiry, which determines whether the case will go to trial, will now not start until December the 8th. One of his attorneys, Angela Mitchell Gittins, was granted an adjournment when the case returned to the magistrate's court. Constable Giddens is charged with the murder on March the 15th of Selwyn Knight and also with wounding Mr. Knight's son Jr. in Bank Hall. Finance Minister Chris Sinclair has confirmed that the authorities are moving to fill more than 100 vacancies at Customs. Staff appointments had been one of the sticking points in the recent impasse over the department's pending move to the Revenue Authority.
Of course, as you know, one of the major issues was the issue of appointments. That process has started. Over the course of a couple of meetings which I facilitated, both sides were able to come to an agreement as to how the process should go forward. It has started. I believe the staff internally in Customs have been circularized as to the appointments, the positions that are vacant, what is required, how we invite applications.
One other issue dealt with by Mr. Sinclair when he met reporters was the newly reduced basket of goods exempted from VAT, and which had been causing some problems among some supermarkets. He said it was an issue about interpretation. For example, spare ribs, sirloin and ribeye steak could fall under the same heading, but the average poor person did not buy steak, the minister said, so that wouldn't be VAT-free.
Now, if you copy in the entire tariff heading, including you may get both what you wanted in the basket and what you did not want in your basket. So that is what has happened, and that's why you ended up with 409 items. Our challenge, our goal now is to go and to make sure that we can take out what should not be and ensure that what should be there stays.
Mr. Sinclair was due to meet in the afternoon with supermarket owners to try to clear up the grey areas. He was speaking after a presentation of books to Eagle Hall and Deacon's Primary Schools by Axel Finance. 6 years after the Clico insurance debacle led to significant fallouts and the subsequent overhaul of the regulatory framework, Barbados' non-banking financial sector, including credit unions, is said to be on stable ground. The CEO of the Financial Services Commission, Randy Graham, gave that assessment at a domestic financial institutions conference at Hilton, Barbados.
Asset values have stabilized in the insurance sector and are at around $3 billion, while documentation of related party transactions is much more detailed in today's environment. Insurance premiums have been stable over the past 3 years, and this year we have seen a 5% growth in the 2014 figures, moving from approximately $680 million to just over $700 million in annual premium, which, although slight, could be an early indication that confidence is beginning to return to the insurance sector. The credit union sector continued to show growth in the asset base, driven mainly by increased lending, which is one of the core principles of the movement, ensuring that the members benefit, and we now see an industry base nearing about $1.8 billion in assets. Savings in the credit union sector also increased by approximately 5.3% year-on-year between 2014 and 2015, which again is another sign that the public's confidence in the system is returning.
The Derek Smith School and Vocational Centre will open on Wednesday with a full complement of secondary students. The addition of roughly 60 secondary students will double the total enrollment. Principal Cheryl Rock said she was amazed by the response to the state-of-the-art school, which caters to special needs children and adults.
We didn't expect to have pretty much a full complement by our first proper term, our first year, and we thought it would grow, but it has. We haven't advertised, we haven't done any interviews, anything like this. This has been purely word of mouth, people hearing about the school and contacting maybe previous schools or their medical people and so on. So to have 120 people, students coming in, and also a little bit of a waiting list with the adults, that's been really amazing.
And now, Hayden Gill with our weekly commentary.
As more Barbadians come forward to speak up about alleged child abuse, the spotlight on the Child Care Board becomes brighter. 2 children who were reportedly abused have died. They were not removed from their homes while investigations were being carried out. Now we hear of 3 more who were subsequently rescued by their father. Neighbors said they called or visited the board for about 2 years. Thankfully, those 3 are alive, but the damage has been done. The standing of the board has taken a hit in the eyes of the public, and there must be an independent probe done. Out of this, we must have a clear stating of the mandate, staffing qualifications and needs, adequate funding, and clearly established protocols when reports are made. The lives of our children demand nothing less.
In sport, Rivaldo Leacock has advanced to the final of the 400 meters hurdles at the Commonwealth Youth Games in Samoa. Leacock had the second fastest time of 51.46 seconds and will run out of lane 4 in the final. In swimming, Damon St. Prix set a new national age group record of 53.39 seconds in the 13 to 14 boys 100 meters freestyle, but there were first round losses for Kiana Marshall in tennis and boxer Jabali Breedy. And finally, the secret to a long life could, it seems, be either a bit of booze or abstaining from sex. Take your pick. The world's oldest twin brothers, Pieter and Paulus Langerock, say they have a glass of red wine every day. They recently celebrated their 102nd birthday, but never expected to live that long. When they were 85, their doctor told them they would not reach 100. Their other tips for a long life: don't waste your time fooling around, don't eat too much, and don't run after women. When Pauline Spagnola of Pennsylvania celebrated her 100th birthday, she said the key to longevity was a lot of booze. And 109-year-old Jessie Gallen of Scotland said staying away from men has given her a long and hassle-free life. You decide. That's where we end Nation News for Tuesday. For more news, log on to nationnews.com, as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And remember to pick up your Midweek Nation on Wednesday or subscribe to our e-paper.